Hi everyone, welcome back to my music room, and it's like day 2 of the COVID-19 lockdown. It's a really rough, rainy day, everyone's stuck inside, so I'm gonna make you a little music performance. I was thinking about what would the most interesting and nice one to be for the first one. I'm going to try and do one every day for you so you can keep watching and hopefully learn something. None of my students are coming for lessons because everyone's on lockdown, and the work I do in the hospital with old folk composing music and playing has all been cancelled. So, you know, part of that work is that I love to talk about music that I love and why it's so meaningful and why it has such an important part in our world and in our lives. So yeah, I thought every day I'll just try and say something and play something to you all. So you can ask questions anyway if you want. Today I wanted to ask like this question that I always ask myself, like, where does music come from? And the place I think is most important to look is in nature. I think music existed before humans started to blow on pipes or twang strings. If you have basically in physics, here's a violin. If you have a tight string, say for instance a long vine of a tree or whatever, wherever in nature you found tension, and you play it, it will make a note. And then the interesting part of how we discovered harmony is that if you just hover your finger, I'm not pressing down on the string to change the length of it, I'm just hovering my finger very gently over exactly halfway down the string. No, finger. I get this thing called a harmonic, and the harmonic is existing in the vibration of that string. It's just there all the time. Exactly 1 octave, we call it above. It's the same note, but 1 octave higher. So that's halfway down. If I go a third of the way down, I get this. So then I've got this note, which is exactly 1/5. Da 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 da. 5 notes. And if I go a quarter of the way down, I get this, which is that higher octave again. So now I've got. If I go a little bit further down, I don't know how much this is, less than a quarter. So they're all there. If I put my finger above, you can hear that all those notes in perfect mathematical harmony exist in that very note being played. And so I think when we were walking along twanging on the bowstrings of our bow and arrow, we started to discover that these notes were in perfect unison in 5th octave, 3rd. If you put a 5th, a 3rd and an octave together, you get this. You get a very pleasing major sound, and suddenly we have harmony existing. And then we humans can learn to create structures of that harmony. So if I put that there, that there, and that there, and change them, I can create all these different structures just from those simple things happening. So today I want to play you a piece. It's a piece that I play a lot up in the hospital for folk there, and it's a piece I've played for young people, for kids in an infant school. Everywhere I go I play this. I play at people's weddings. It's originally written for the cello, but I like to play it on the violin, and it's one of my favourite pieces by Bach, who is my hero, so I thought we should start this series with a piece by Bach, and it's the prelude to his first cello suite. And it uses very simply those intervals that are existing all the time around us in the vibrations of the universe. The whole piece is built on those. It's a very simple piece for a beginner to learn, just because it has open string and first finger, second finger. So within 2 lessons you can play Bach. So I'll play it for you now. So there you are, the first prelude of Bach's cello suites. There was one more thing I was thinking about with music. It all exists in nature, everywhere around us, these vibrations, these harmonies, fifths and thirds and octaves. They're all shimmering around us everywhere we go, and I guess we just have to learn to key into them and make our lives vibrate with them in a way to get good health, to get good well-being. And we as humans, we look for meaning and we give meaning to things, and there's a beautiful, I was rereading this beautiful book, To the Wedding by John Berger, fantastic writer, and he says this lovely thing at the end. In fact, the whole book is kind of about the HIV virus and how it affects a young woman, so it's kind of applicable now in this coronavirus time of our lives. And he says this beautiful thing: music began, all the REM beats know it, with a howl lamenting a loss. The howl became a prayer, and from the hope in the prayer started music, which can never forget its origin. In it, hope and loss are a pair. And I think that's why I love music so much, and why it's informed so much of my life, even outside of music, is that it's able to hold hope and loss together in the same grasp, which is such a difficult thing for us to do. But in music you can take loss and sadness and grief and hold it together with hope, and in some strange way, like even in that piece by Bach, the way the vibrations dance around each other, it can create something very healing for us. So there you go. I'll be back tomorrow with another piece for you. Please send me requests of stuff that you want to hear, or stuff you want to hear talked about, or anything you like. If you want to help keep this going, I have a Patreon page, Patreon, patreon.com/justingrounds. You can join up. I already have a beautiful community of patrons who I want to thank for keeping me going on these projects. You get free music every month from me, you get film music, you get all these kind of ideas, and when we get back to doing gigs, you'll get all invited to gigs. So send me some comments, subscribe to the channel or whatever. I don't know what you do on YouTube. And if you want to join the Patreon, do for $3 a month is the easiest way to do it. And sure, I'll see you tomorrow. Stay well, guys.